We're talking about Asics. We're talking about the Asics Novablast 5. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Cody with the Shoe In With Cody, and today we got ourselves a good one. We're talking about first impressions and some tech specs of the Asics Novablast 5. I just got the shoe in, and honestly, I've been racking the miles, and I think I have about 10-ish miles in them so far. And so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I've been a big fan of the Novablast line, and this is definitely this is going in a great direction. But again, in this video, I will go over that first impressions, that tech specs, really what the shoe is all about. I do want to point out one thing though. This shoe was provided to me by Asics, but they have no idea what I'm going to say in this video or any of the content I make about this shoe or any of their shoes. I also have a favor to ask. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe button. You know you want to. Costs you absolutely nothing, but it definitely helps the channel. Now let's sit back, relax, and let's talk about the Asics Novablast 5. To kick this video off, I'm going to talk about the tech specs because there's a lot to cover about this shoe. This shoe just came out. Asics kind of did a New York marathon kind of reveal with this with Bandit. This colorway, I believe, is kind of that Bandit kind of collaboration color, and I'm here for it. I mean, look at that. This thing is freaking this thing's just awesome. They also introduced something new. We're looking at the Flight Foam Blast Max, okay? Just look at that. I mean, I'm not pushing on that hard. This previous versions were that Flight Foam Blast Plus. This is just taking it to that next level, and it's really nice underfoot. You're still getting that 8mm drop shoe, which is really nice. This shoe in my size, I think is about 9.5 ounces, which isn't bad for a daily trainer. It's not the lightest shoe, but it's definitely, again, it feels a whole lot lighter on foot. This shoe is all about the plush. You can see that right here. Tongue, a little bit more plush this tongue than previous versions. It is a partially gusseted tongue, so what that kind of means is there's like a little strap right here that goes over it. It's not like a fully gusseted tongue. But again, nice tongue, gets the job done. And again, heel, it's pretty darn stout heel and everything. And the upper, you're looking at engineered Chacal upper. Again, very nice, very breathable. Again, really love the looks of this shoe. Again, for me, this is kind of a wider shoe. So I have a wideish foot, not a wide, but a wideish foot I always kind of recommend. This is definitely a little bit more roomier than maybe other Asics I've had in the past. For me, that's not an issue at all, but I do know some of y'all might find this maybe to be a little too roomy, and you might get some bunching right here. But again, for my size, being in that 9 ounces, for all this stack goodness that you get, I do think the Asics Novablast 5 offers a whole lot and a really nice price tag. While I know you love some tech specs, I know you clicked on this video to hear about my first impressions on the shoe. And again, I just got this in. I have maybe 9, 10-ish, closer to 10 miles. I've been racking the miles in, and I like what I'm getting from the shoe. So I really like the Novablast 4. I thought it was a very versatile shoe. I could pick the paces up a little bit, take it on those daily miles. I feel like the 5 just takes it to that next level. This Flight Foam Blast 5 is definitely a little bit softer. Not like terribly soft where like, oh man, I don't really want to be running this one. It's just a tad softer, and I'm here for it. It feels fantastic underfoot. I'm in a brand new neighborhood. I'm trying out some new kind of paths that I can run on, and honestly, I was shocked at how fast I felt in the shoe. For me, usually 8:30ish, just me kind of just going in that daily trainer kind of mile. I was 7:40s, 8, and I honestly didn't feel like I was going that fast. I feel like this shoe can definitely mix in picking up the paces a little bit. Again, I cannot say enough about this Flight Foam Blast Max. Whew, it is a lot to say, but man, it is wonderful underfoot. This tongue, again, lockdown, really nice lockdown. I feel like this with all Novablasts, so I feel like the upper very much similar. Lock it in, I forget that it's on. I love that they're keeping it plush here. Not too plush, but just enough where, again, that daily trainer feel, it feels really nice underfoot. It does have this little strap here. I'm gonna be quite frank with y'all. I have no idea what it's for. Sometimes with trail shoes, I can understand that because you want a gator on it. Or this, I have no idea. It just kind of looks cool. I really keeps your laces in a little bit, but I don't know. It's just kind of there. It's kind of long. I don't know. It's just more of an aesthetic thing to me. I know some people complain that the grip wasn't great. Honestly, it's pouring in Pennsylvania. I've done two extremely rainy runs. I had no issues at all. Again, I'm going on little gravel. I'm going on just roads, sidewalks, things like that. And honestly, this, I'm not having any issues at all. I'm ripping it. I'm feeling good. I feel secure. I've run through puddles. I've done a lot of work. Again, no issues at all. This upper, I do like the upper. It's very breathable. But I do think some people might have issues with it. I don't think this is accommodating for narrow feet. If you got a narrow foot, I would recommend try this on in a store before you buy. Or if you do buy it online, make sure you buy it at a place maybe has a good return policy. Again, for me, it's not an issue, but I could see for some people, I mean, look at that. If you're a narrow-footed friend, you might just have a little bit of issues. Again, I would definitely try this on. The other thing I want to point out, while I had no issues with the grip in the rain, this thing soaks up water. It soaks up water. I finished 2 of my runs and pouring rain. And again, I'm not expecting it to be completely dry. But the next morning when I went to go pick this up, it was completely wet still. And I didn't put it near a vent to dry. I just kind of left it in a room. And I was shocked at how soaked this was still. So I actually had to pass running on it in one day because it was still pretty darn soaked. So I do also want to point it out. Again, it may not be a deal breaker if you're in drier areas, but if you're like me, you're in Pennsylvania and you're in an area that gets a mixed type of it, I do want to point that out. That was a little bit of a, kind of a bummer to me. I really wanted to be racking the miles in with the shoe, and I had to pass it one day because it was still very much soaked. The second time I did put it near a vent and it did dry, but I do want to point that out. Again, some might say I'm nitpicking, but I do need to let that know. Also, looks. I don't know if you could buy this colorway, but if you can, it's freaking awesome. I don't think the camera does this justice. It's freaking awesome. When I look down at this shoe, it just looks straight fire. I think Asics knocked it out of the park with the looks of this shoe. Again, it's not crazy. It's not in your face. It's still pretty simple, but it gets the job done. Again, I still need to rack more miles in. I'm about 10 miles. I try to get around 31 miles before I do a review. So definitely hit that like button, and you want to hit that subscribe button because when I drop this video, you're going to want to know about it. And again, thanks for checking out this review. And until next time, I'll see you all out on the run.